Hi everyone! In this week's episode of Chic and Cheek, we are going to be making these really girly, pretty, and super easy tulle flowers. You're not going to believe how easy they are to make. And this all started with me purchasing these really cute tulle pom-poms from Michaels, and I wanted to make my own, and then they sort of evolved into a flower instead. But you can make a pom-pom or a flower the same exact way. So I'm just cutting off a little end of my length of tulle to use that later, and I am just wrapping this length around my hands. It's all crunched up, it's not all nice and neat, just all folded and scrunched. And of course, you all know how to make pom-poms. This is just one way to make them. I'm going to take that little bit that I had cut off, and I'm going to use that to tie in the center. I'm just doing a double knot, and now I am just going to flatten it out a little bit, see what I have going on here, and trim on both sides. You could poke your scissors through the center and trim through the loops, but I'm just going to trim off the edges like so. And then you can just fluff it out. You can fluff it out to make a pom-pom, or you can fluff it out and then kind of flatten it to make a flower. So I'm just adding a little rhinestone to the center of this one. So you can basically make a flower in less than a minute or two. So easy, super cute. But I want mine to look a little more vintage and tattered, so I'm just going ahead and snipping at it and basically just hacking at the flower so that it's more tattered and vintage looking. I think it looks really pretty. You don't have to be super careful with this, just go ahead and snip away. This part is, of course, completely optional. Now I'm taking this fabric, I think it's maybe chiffon? I'm not even sure. Very cheap fabric I bought at Walmart, I believe. It's like curtain fabric. And I'm just hacking off a length of it here, as you can see, not being very careful at all. And again, I'm going to cut off a little piece so that I can use that to tie the center and keep it all together. And again, I'm just going to wrap it around my hands. Not neatly, it's all scrunched up. So this is just to show you that you can use other types of sheer fabrics besides tulle, and they look really pretty. So I'm removing that big loop from my hand, and I'm going to again tie a knot in the center with my little scrap piece. And this fabric also looks really pretty as a pom-pom, but since I'm making flowers today, I turned it into a flower. I'm making sure that that is centered, and now again, I am just snipping off my ends. Kind of scrunching it all together to make it easier to cut. And I'm adding a button to the center of this one. Super cute. Again, I'm just going to kind of snip and hack at it with my scissors to make it look more tattered and old. Super cute. So then you can use these to layer up with your rosettes or your other fabric flowers that you make, and they look really pretty, or they look pretty on their own too. For this last one, I'm using this sort of lacy material. I'm not really sure what this is either. It's a little bit stretchy. I'm cutting off an end to use to tie it all together. Put that aside. And for this one, I wanted to make a really large one, so I'm just using one of my corrugated cardboard cards to wrap it around because it is bigger than my hand. I'm going to slide that off. As you can see, it's very messy. There is no such thing as perfection with this. And then for this one, I'm just going to actually cut through the loops. It really doesn't matter either way. I just didn't feel like having more scraps to clean up, so I'm doing it this way. When you do it this way, you may have to do a little more trimming to get things evened out. No big deal. So then you can go ahead and fluff away. Trim any parts that are kind of sticking out that don't look even. And then you can either use it as a base for another flower or go ahead and add a flower center. Super pretty, so soft and girly. And of course, I'm going to go ahead and snip at mine. But again, you don't have to. However it looks good to you, that's the way you should leave it. They're so fun and easy to make. I made about a dozen of these in less than 10 minutes, so I hope you'll feel inspired to try it yourself, and thanks for watching.